You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
Coming to you live from a universe where full-length TV shows are a thing of the past. The only approved content is brief, bite-sized synopses. We briefly talk about Rick and Morty stuff today, and briefly about other Rick and Morty stuff today, briefly on this week's Interdimensional IRSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty Brief podcast.
What's up, everybody? Coming at you live with another brief cast. Oh, I have weird... Okay, everything's fine now. Hi, Brandon. Welcome.
Hey, Travis. It's good to be here.
There was white noise for a second.
I feel like everything is going to be okay.
Yeah, there's definitely no technical glitches with this podcast. Everything is going to be fine. For everything will be great.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get this started before everything falls apart.
Hello, Unity. Welcome to Interdimensional IRSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty podcast. We're so glad that you're here as we ramp up to season 6 of Rick and Morty. It's another one right there in your podcatcher. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. If you are not currently subscribed to this podcast, make sure that you do that. And if you're not following us over on social media, there are plenty of ways that you can keep up with all of our antics over at Rick and Morty Pod on Twitter. So many ways. I'm going to list them for you now. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Rick and Morty Podcast, or at Instagram, Rick and Morty Podcast. Send us an email, rickandmortypodcast@gmail.com. We love getting your mail. We love the mails. Yeah.
Send it to us.
The MailChimp loves the mails too. He's all about it. Over on the internet, we are surfing the subreddits over at rickandmorty.reddit.com and our subreddit, rickandmortypodcast.reddit.com. Or you can go to our website, rickandmortypodcast.com, where you can get all of the episodes of this podcast for your listening ears. We are streaming live, at least for the time being, over at twitch.tv/Apathetic Enthusiasm. You can also catch video versions of all our podcasts over at youtube.com/Apathetic Enthusiasm. Thank you to those that subscribe. If you're watching over on YouTube, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Yeah, you know the drill. Leave a comment. The comments are my favorite part. They're so fun. Somebody left a comment this week that was just a timestamp, and I didn't fully understand it. But thanks for leaving the comment.
That's not the first time they've left a timestamp, and I keep seeing it and saying to myself, you really should check that timestamp to see what it is that they're calling out.
I did check the timestamp, and it was just the start of when we actually started talking about the main thing or something. It was actually kind of really helpful. So thanks to everybody over on YouTube.
Maybe we should do that.
Yeah,
that's probably not going to happen.
That's a discussion for the post show. Anyway, finally, thanks to everybody that supports this show financially, if you will, over at patreon.com/Apathetic Enthusiasm. Thank you to all of our patrons. You guys are amazing. We're so happy for your support. Brandon, it's all out of the way. How are you doing? You good? You look confused. Are you fine? Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm doing good.
Do you want to tell a story about Columbo on the podcast?
No, I got to save that. I got to save that for post-episode / Columbo content. No, I'm feeling okay. I feel okay. I've been up. Today was a day of teleworking, and so I've been here in front of a microphone / my computer all day long. So I don't actually.
I mean, okay, this is not Apathetic Enthusiasm, but we're not really making those. So you, Interdimensional IRSS listeners, you can get a little taste. It's so weird when you work from home or work remote, all day, and then you go to do something else in that same space, record a podcast or play a video game, and then it feels like, am I playing video games at work? I don't know, maybe I'm just not good at segmenting my realities like that. But yeah, it's a weird feeling.
Yeah, no, it is a strange feeling, and so it feels weird to be like, okay, yeah, let's do a podcast. Whee!
Even worse might be working from home in your podcast space, because then you hold a meeting. You're like, hey, everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the meeting. If you want to follow this meeting online, you can follow us over at meeting.meeting.com.
That is how I've ended all of my conference calls in the last week and a half. So,
all right. It's
all right.
Sounds like it's working. Anyway, it's time for Rick and Morty. Season 6 is almost here, and we have more things to discuss. If you do not catch our Season 6 Speculation Spectacular. That was our last episode. You can go back to your podcatcher of choice and get that entire episode. But for now, we have even more to discuss, starting with everyone's favorite segment, Semi-Pertinent News.
Semi-pertinent news brought to you by the Brandon Jazz Singo.
All right. Thank you, Brandon, for that very succinct theme music. All right, everybody. It's Semi-Pertinent News. We've discussed some of these topics before, but I mean, we gotta catch up, right? So we talked a little bit about multiverses in our last episode, but we have updated information and dare I say a release date, Brandon?
Oh, dare you say it? Say it. I dare you.
We have a release date.
Are you daring? Oh, you're daring. Yeah. So, look. We've got semi-pertinent news. This is as semi-pertinent as it comes. We keep talking about multiverses, and for a good reason, because it's a fun game. We've been saving up our gold, our points for a new character coming out, and we all know that Morty is going to be one of those new characters. Also, Rick eventually as well. But Morty is being released on 23 August. This comes straight from Tony Hewen, who is the director and I think the co-owner of First Player Games. I had it. I forgot to write it down. So close. But anyway, he has shot out a tweet that says that Morty is labeled as an expert and is also said to be really fun for the player. Hopefully it's fun for the opponents. Looking forward to that Morty. I can't wait. But this is, I know we're talking about Rick and Morty, but they just announced that Black Adam and Spike from Gremlins are also going to be on Multiverses. And who gives a fuck about Black Adam? But Spike, a Gremlin? Oh my god.
Yeah. I was thinking about it the other day, and Multiverses, the wealth of IP content that they can pull from for.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Gremlin.
You're gonna be a Morty main and then a Gremlins main. I'm calling it now. So yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
So look, I look forward to that. If anybody is playing Multiverses, make sure send us a tweet or something. Let us know what you think of the game. Let us know if you are excited about it, about the new characters.
Season 1 starting soon, I believe. So
yes. Okay, so decidedly lacking in the semi-pertinent news content this week. So this should be a pretty quick session.
Sure.
Going back to our intro. But the second piece we have, in lieu of a Reddit post of the week, because the Reddit post of the week is the season 6 trailer, as posted by somebody I'm not going to give them credit for because they have way more karma than me, even though I have the pinned post.
You're not bitter. He's not bitter.
I'm not bitter. They have a flag. I don't have a flag. Their flag says fake, which is fake because it's a real thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know. By the way, I posted mine an hour before them, and then that's our segment.
I wonder if there's something about the pinned posts that make it less attractive to upvoters or something. I don't know. That's weird. Like I don't get it.
I think what it is I linked to YouTube versus they use the embedded Reddit player. I think is really what it boils down to. So like it plays automatically versus clicking a link.
There it is. We've cracked the code.
Look at that.
All right.
Product management. I'm figuring it out. Okay, so in lieu of Reddit post of the week, I'm going to ask the Reddit question of the week. And this Reddit question of the week comes by way of String Electronic 246. And the question is this: Which relationship hit you the hardest? Planetina, Unity, or the vat of acid? Now, there's a variety of answers there out there in the subreddit. We have it linked in the show notes. You can hit us up and let us know what you think in any one of our social media. But Travis, which one hit you the hardest?
Which relationship hit me the hardest? I
Note, they're not talking about the vat of acid. They're talking about the relationship he has on the episode.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that changes it.
That makes it easier, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's for me. It's a toss up between Planetina and the Vat of Acid episode. I think in part because Morty just feels more innocent, I guess, and both of those relationships feel like sort of like young love and things like that. The Vat of Acid one, you don't build like up the characters. Like they do a great job developing the characters without any dialogue. But it's just the fact that it's all blipped away as soon as Jerry hits that button is kind of just like, and then it just kind of rolls into something else. I think Planetina though, Planetina for me hits the hardest because it's not just Morty getting his heart broken, but he's having to like break someone's heart too, right? Like it's it really highlights how difficult relationships can be sometimes. And even if you really like a person or value a person, sometimes for reasons outside of your control, it can't work out. Or, you know, you see things in them that just really aren't healthy that you have to walk away from. So
yeah. And shout out to Morty, actually, essentially breaking up with her versus doing what a normal teenager would do and ghost the shit out of her and just never talk to her again. Not proud. I'm not proud of what I used to be. So please don't hold that against me. But I agree with you on the Planetina thing. The Unity, it was a relationship. They knew that they were bad for each other, and they both moved on. Like Rick a little bit harder than Unity did. Vat of Acid, nameless woman. That was there were people talking about it. The Vat of Acid one was like it even though it was blipped away, it was like it ended up it ended happily, right? They weren't broken up.
Yeah.
He was just sad that he went through all that time with her. Rick's contraption screwed everything up, and then he's back to square one. So it wasn't like really a heartbreak type thing. It was just like all that work that put into it.
Yeah, that one results in more of a Jerry versus like frustration with Jerry's ineptitude more so than heartbreak from the relationship. And then with the Unity relationship, I feel like it's more of revealing Rick's loneliness and his how much he's masking even in those earlier episodes, how lonely he is as a person, which is devastating, and it is really emotional. But I don't think that's because of the relationship. I think that's just because Unity was a filler for any type of relationship where he just wanted to feel like connection with someone.
Could literally be anything, and you just fill it in. The last thing I'll say about the Planetina thing before we move on to the rest of our semi-pertinent news is that
next hour we're doing this. We're only doing this.
As it hit harder also as a parent, because Travis and I we're both parents, and our kids are growing up rapidly. And they're eventually going to go through that little piece of heartbreak, just as we all have done at some point in time. Yeah. And that relationship between Beth and Morty there is like that's going to be us someday. And so I think that's why that hits a little bit harder for me.
Hats off to Schraub. What a great episode, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, When Wolf.
All right, moving on. Is this a Twitter post of the week? What is this? Why is this in the show notes?
It is. This next piece. I don't know if you actually went to
Tweet
Twitter
of the
for.
week.
Uh,
Oh no,
it-
I got the link. Oh no, I'm ready.
I wrote a damned snake. Sorry, I put snack, but I meant snake in a mechanical walking device. And it's for our audio listeners. It's a snake, a video of a snake in like a tube, and there's like little plastic legs. And I guess whenever the snake tries to crawl, the tube goes with it, and he starts walking. And so,
Hey, I'm walking here.
yeah, I'm walking here. So, freaking Snake Planet. It's happening. It's happening.
Such a weird, like the amount of engineering that went into making that happen. It's just weird. It's just so weird.
It's very. I don't even.
Snake.
I don't know.
Planet.
I don't know how it works. Like the snake doesn't seem to be like it's slithering, but the tube is going along with its slither, so it's not really even going anywhere. I mean, it's walking there. It's a.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway, Snake Planet.
Snake Planet. It's gonna happen. Going back to the jazz.
Snake Jazz. Also, this is your official Wormageddon update. If you are watching live, the countdown continues. We have officially 3 days, 12 hours, 12 minutes, and 38 seconds until Wormageddon. If you're listening on the audio version, probably subtract at least a day from that. But yeah, that again, as a reminder, set your alarm clocks. This Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Ooh,
So, if you're on the West Coast, got to get up early for Wormageddon.
and work for that.
That's right. But yeah, if you go to rickandmorty.com, you can see the countdown. Obviously, the Citadel secret, the YouTube video that is very briefly showing that egg inside of a busted down chamber of the Citadel. That was your first video on there. The season 6 trailer is now the second item that has been posted on the Wormageddon site. The third transmission still locked, still unknown. So will we see that before Wormageddon strikes on Friday, or is that something that we're going to see actually on Friday? Who's to know? Well, the Adult Swim marketing department, they're to know. But who else is to know? I don't know. But yeah, check out all the Wormageddon hype over at rickandmorty.com.
Yes. Well, we're almost into our main event, so to speak. But before we do, we have to get through a very somber Dan Harmon social media minute.
Dan Harmon social media minute. That's it. I don't want to sing.
That was good. No, that's good. Don't cheapen the moment, Travis.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. Cheers to Harmon, and cheers to Dan Harmon social media minute.
Cheers to Xanadu.
That's right. Godspeed to an actual goddess is what he posted. And he posted basically two pictures. Well, a picture of R.I.P. Olivia Newton-John.
Yep.
And a video of Xanadu, a clip of the movie Xanadu, which was a soundtrack by Electric Light Orchestra, which I do have that record. I need to grab it. Yeah. We like ELO.
So a legit heartfelt post honoring Olivia Newton-John, and oddly enough, legit fan of Xanadu, Dan Harmon and co. I believe they do like an extended breakdown of Xanadu in a former Harmontown episode.
Oh.
So yeah, if you look, I think it's like episode 101 or something like that. You can hear all about their thoughts on Xanadu. But that is your Dan Harmon social media minute. If you want to follow Dan Harmon for yourself, head over to Instagram and follow @Dan Harmon. That is
Perfect.
it.
All right.
That is it for semi-pertinent news. If you have a semi-pertinent news story that you feel like we should cover on a show, hit us up, email, tweet, Instagram, wherever. But now, without any further ado, it is time for the reason you are here. It is time for the main thing.
Dun 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 Doom, 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 doom. Ding, 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 ding. Main thing, killer. Say, main thing.
Main thing, main thing.
All right, there we go. Main event timestamp. Are you the one doing the timestamps? Are you the one doing that? Thank you. You're doing the Lord's work.
Thanks.
Yes, welcome to the main thing here on this new episode of our podcast. We are going over the season 6 trailer. We're breaking it down bit by bit, picture by picture, frame by frame. We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to say what we see, a color perhaps.
We're just going to describe the frames
and then
as they appear.
And then the second marker. So lots of stuff happened in this trailer. Little introduction. In order to prepare for this, here's what I did, Travis. You're at work all day. You're doing your
working
thing.
9 to 5.
I went to YouTube.
What a way to make a living.
I went to YouTube and I said playback speed normal. Nuh-uh. Change that shit to 0.25. And I listened to this thing very slowly and took screenshots. And
for anybody that listens to our podcast not at one time speed, that segment just got real weird for them.
Oh boy, I sounded normal for the folks who listen to it faster. That's great.
Also, if you listen to this podcast at anything other than one time speed, I want to know. No judgment. I'm not mad at you. I'm just curious.
No.
I don't listen to podcasts that way. I can't do it.
Yeah, can't do it. It sounds too much like chipmunks. You know, chipmunksies.
Yeah.
All right. So the trailer here. Let's go ahead and get this started, Travis. It popped up, badass, like we were talking about last week.
So cool. We didn't talk about it in last week's episode because it came out right after we did our episode, which again I think we maybe even joked about it. But yeah, we didn't break down this trailer because
we didn't break it down, but
it was not out. Brandon. It was not out.
I'm gonna look at.
Somebody check the tape.
Look at our show notes. Yeah, I guess you're right.
There's nobody back there.
No. It came out. It came out because our discussion last week talked about the teaser trailer, the Rick and Morty season 6 extended promo.
We talked about the teaser trailer. We talked about the trailer that was all a bunch of season 5 rehashing and one spoiler box. And then in the season 6 speculation spectacular available on podcatchers everywhere, it was released into the ether. And then this trailer, the season 6 epic trailer came out, and that's what we're here to talk about. We're not breaking down no teaser trailers. We're talking about the season 6.
I said bitchin', man. F. You know, all right. Well, let's get into it then. It's bitchin'. So they chose. Let's just set the scene here. All right.
Yeah, set it.
Black Sabbath starts playing. It's
even better. In continuity.
They
Rick and Jerry are posted up in front of what appears to be a Panda Express restaurant.
Yeah.
Rick is dual wielding sci-fi guns, and he says, "For a moment like this," and I'm paraphrasing, I need I need some music. Hey car, play like my badass playlist track 1 or whatever. And then Black Sabbath starts rolling.
Yeah.
So good.
The excellent song Paranoid, which I think the first time I ever heard that song was on the Dazed and Confused soundtrack. Maybe not even like the main Dazed and Confused soundtrack, but like Dazed and Confused had 2 soundtracks. They had the one that was actually in the movie, and then they had the extended one. So it was one of them. Doesn't matter. The point is, Paranoid. I absolutely love that song. When I was in high school, my freshman year, I took a guitar class, And the first song we learned was like, "Take me home, country roads, to the place where I belong." But we had to pick a song to play as our guitar final, and you had to pick a song, you had to learn a song. And so my friend Otto, he played the bass, I got on the guitar, and I played Paranoid. And I had my parents' records on a record player, and before MP3s, before well, I didn't have it on CD, cassette. I didn't have it on cassette. I would just take the needle, drop it back off, and that's how I learned it, solo and everything, like a hassle. But I love that song, and so this trailer means a lot to me for that song alone.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I've got.
Great song. It's a great song, and it really and he's leaving now. Okay. The trailer, you sent it to me, on Messenger, which is our prime form of communication, and you sent it to me like right when I was starting my workday, and you're like, "This is so badass," and I couldn't check it right away because I am a responsible employee. But then like 2 hours later, I watched it and I was like, wow, this is really good. And I think I immediately watched it again and then responded to you like, that trailer really is badass. Like the energy in it. I mean, obviously the song does a lot to kind of bring that energy up, but all of the clips that they show in this trailer, like high action, a lot of like intense things going on. It's moving fast. There's some great lines throughout it, like really funny stuff. So it's just really creating this sense of like, and it could just be a very well edited trailer, but just like Justin Roiland was saying, where like they're recapturing that vibe of some of the earlier seasons. I kind of am buying what they're selling with this trailer, because if the episodes are anything like the trailer, this is going to be a phenomenal season.
I don't disagree with you, Travis. I don't
Nor
disagree
should
with
you.
one
Ever.
bit. One
Not
bit.
ever.
We've had our disagreements in the past.
All the time.
They're well documented. They're audio. They're here.
We record them and release them on the internet.
But you know, I can't argue here. No, it is a trailer. Admittedly, they pull the best scenes out of just a select few episodes at a time, to give us a taste of what's to come in the new season, which is just a couple weeks away. And we know that based off of past trailers, that it doesn't, they don't show everything, right? They don't, no way.
No,
and sometimes the things that and sometimes the things that they do show are part of like a collection of episodes, but they're very, very limited. So like example, I think last year they showed like Ceramic Rick, right, where he's driving through the desert, and then he's got like his little clay pot, right, and we're like, what is it? What is this from? And that was like just a very, very quick cutaway, and that was still in the trailer. So they're saying there are things in this that I'm sure are not part of like a main episode necessarily. But I wonder what those are. But what episodes do we think we see in this trailer?
That's right. And if you are not familiar with the believed episode titles for this season, definitely go back and check out our last episode. But one of the first ones, and this is based off of a scene in Rick's garage, right, in this trailer, where we see two Beths, if you will, right? We see Space Beth and normal Beth, I guess. What are we calling her? But and there are a few different scenes actually where I think I can click, where we see Space Beth in some of the trailer. And we speculated last week that Bethic Twinstinct might be a Space Beth episode. And the amount of coverage of Space Beth in this trailer makes me thinking that Bethic Twinstinct might be one of the episodes featured in this trailer.
We talked about this last week. I talked about this last week. I mentioned it in one of the Reddit posts as well, talking about Bethic Twinstinct. I would really still love it not like to be a misdirect and
Sure.
to have Space Beth be in the season, of course, but
Well,
for
clearly
that,
she is. She's in the trailer.
well, who knows? Maybe it's fake. We don't know. We don't know. Maybe like the trailer. Maybe like her in the trailer is fake. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know until we see the season. But I would love it to not actually that episode not be about Space Beth.
Okay. All right.
It about be someone else.
You willing to put money on it? Just out of curiosity.
No, I'm not going to put money on it.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
saying I would like to see it.
Oh.
But if we
All
but
right.
we,
In the fantasy land that you live in, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's not a twin. She's a clone or a duplicate.
Yeah. Fair enough. That's fair.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So moving on. So I mean, for sake of argument, I'll say, yeah, no, that's totally Bethic to Instinct. Of course, that's guaranteed. We only see 2 scenes of her in the entire trailer, so yeah, no, it's probably that episode, Travis. The next one is we see a lot of clips of, which is all the Smith family, Rick in their nighttime garb, and
Yeah, like really, really plain matching
pajamas.
Pajamas. They look like pajamas. They really do.
PJ.
Yeah,
PJ.
PJs, if you will, colloquially. PJs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We at the very start of the trailer, it shows like the red robots, and they're like they're shouting warnings. We see them a little bit later when the family is driving, and right when Beth's about to drive, they start shooting like what looked like syringes at the car.
Mm-hmm.
So we know those scenes are tied together somehow. Being that it's nighttime, being that they're in their pajamas, leads me to believe, Travis, that this is in fact Night Family.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. M Night Family. Yeah, I mean, all the scenes are at night. It's all of the family is there. 2 + 2 = 75. Yeah, it's interesting. There's some weird stuff going on in this episode. Like, you have the entire Smith family minus Summer in the PJs early on in the trailer, and then there's a scene where like the family station wagon is being all shot up, and it's driving next to a police car, and then Summer jumps like from the police car over into the station wagon. Jerry catches her. He's still in the PJs, but she's like in her normal clothes. So I wonder if she's like out because she's a teenager and she was out like for the evening.
Oh, yeah.
That. But for whatever reason, whatever the storyline is in this episode, the family has to all be together for some reason. Obviously, they're being attacked by these robots and other things are happening. So, yeah.
What I like about that image really is that Summer jumps into the arms of Jerry, and there's this wholesome moment of where she's thankful for her father. I like that. I like that. And like there's a little bonding moment there.
And then the police car goes off a cliff and crashes into like a power plant or something.
I'm sure Jerry undercuts it at some way.
He always does. He always does.
All right. Well, so that was Night. We think it's Night Family. If you think it's something different, by all means, that's cool. Let us know. Now, we know that Rick A Mort Well Lived is the episode that was shown at Adult Swim Fest. We know that it has something to do with Roy, the game. And what does this trailer do? It shows us a bunch of Blips and Chits clips where Summer is having to do a Die Hard, which she's never seen before.
I'm 17. I haven't seen Die Hard.
Just go into the air vents. Sneak around in the air vents.
You know who else hasn't seen Die Hard? The guy in Die Hard.
Oh, is that too soon?
Oh, no, that's like the line from the trailer.
No, yeah, I know. Is it too soon that he says that in the trailer? Is that? I mean, what is that supposed to mean about Bruce Willis?
It just means that it doesn't mean Bruce Willis. It means the character in Die Hard who did all the Die Hard things
Oh,
never
I
saw
see.
Die Hard.
I see. I see.
Way to
Well,
read it. Way to bring it down, Brandon.
sorry.
Anyway,
That's
blips
the
and
first thing I
chits.
thought of. That's the first thing I thought of when he said that. Like, oh God, is that like super topical? With, by the way, everybody, Bruce Willis has a disease where he forgets his lines a lot. So,
Yeah.
you know, or maybe they're just talking shit about Bruce Willis, or maybe they're referring to what you're saying, Travis, which is the most logical and the one that makes sense. Sorry. Whatever.
What do you, based on what you saw in the trailer, what are you thinking is going on in this episode?
Well, I think there are terrorists. I think they're taking over blips and shits, and I think that Summer goes around and does a Die Hard.
I get the feeling that this is going to be very Summer centric. From the looks of it, I think I think Morty is completely like checked out this entire episode. I think he is just going to be playing Roy the whole time. Like they went to Blips and Chits, they're having a few laughs, and then all of a sudden the arcade is attacked by these small band of space terrorists. So Morty is out of commission because he is playing a life well lived. There is this one clip where it looks like Morty and Rick are both hooked up to the game together, and both of their eyes are like whited out, and then Summer is just crouched next to the game, kind of freaked out. So I think, and then a lot of other clips from the trailer kind of show her engaging with the terrorists, falling off of like tall buildings or whatever, and doing a Die Hard type thing. So yeah, I really wonder if this is really going to be just like a Summer episode where she's dealing with these folks and almost less Rick and Morty involvement over the course of the whole episode.
There's a very quick scene where Summer gets like the X-23/Wolverine adamantium claws from a vending machine. I very much think that is part of the Blips and Chits episode. Rick Amort Well Lived.
Okay.
Being in because you see in the trailer that she is like using like goods from Blips and Chits as weapons against the terrorists.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting if there is a vending machine that has mutant-esque things. You see like kind of behind her, there's like a Magneto mask in green. You got the Cyclops visor right there.
Yeah.
There's a couple other things in there that I haven't put too much thought in, and I don't want to do it here on the show. But like, it would be cool that she's taking care of business using some X-Men vending machine.
Love it when Summer gets a little bit of extra screen time and gets to show off her capabilities. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be cool. Go Summer.
Go Blips and Chits. Everybody's wanted that thing back, and I mean,
we got it a little bit in the Story Train episode, but not really in earnest.
Not the same, it's not the same. So those are episodes that we think are pretty clearly going to be in those are pretty clearly those episode titles: Bethic to Instinct, Night Family, and Rick and Mort Well Lived. So the question then, Travis, is we see other random clips, we see other random scenes. What episodes might those be? And so want to have that kind of discussion. The clips I'm thinking specifically, we'll start with there's a scene where the spaceship is flying through kind of a really psychedelic kind of scene, and then it zooms in on Rick's eyes, and it's got that kind of like trippy, Dazed and Confused type thing going on, right?
Yeah. It almost makes me think of Multiverse of Madness, where they're like blipping through the different realities before they go to the first new reality. Just kind of that sort of like space between realities sort of thing.
Yeah. So because this is all just throwing this out there because we have no context by which to say what the situation he's in this case, but he is in a ship. He is traveling somewhere. And when you're traveling somewhere, you have to get to a destination. So my guess is
grasp at those straws.
For those not watching, Travis is very unconvinced The Final Destination is what my guess that episode is from. I'm okay with it being wrong. I'm just saying it's a test.
Yeah, it's possible. I'm still not convinced Final Destination's an actual episode title, but maybe it is. It could be. Yeah, it is interesting because with the breakdown of the central finite curve at the end of season 5, we aren't entirely sure whether or not portal gun technology is gonna be working in season 6, right? Like all the portal fluid in the Citadel was consumed, all the portal guns got hacked. We do see a portal gun in one of the in Rick's garage. But actually, yeah, but for the most part we don't see any other portal gun usage. So I'm not entirely sure that portal guns are going to be an option. So maybe this is how Rick is able to travel between realities, or maybe outside of the central finite curve, and have some sort of interactions with whatever Evil Morty's up to doing.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Maybe
No.
maybe that
we
has
never
something.
know. We may never know.
No, maybe we'll never know. The second one that I brought up, there are clips here where Rick and Jerry are hanging out, and Rick is kind of in like a button down shirt. He looks kind of nice. Jerry looks professional, and then Rick starts doing like they seem to be in a more professional environment. There's like a clipboard. Yeah. Rick has a tie, and Jerry's wearing glasses. In my head, Travis, this is where I'm going with this. Is what is Analyze This about? It's about a gangster and Billy Crystal or whoever. I don't know what that. Actually, I don't know what that movie's about.
Yeah,
but like they're talking shit. We talked about it. It was like an analyst thing, right? Maybe it was like another Susan Sarandon episode. But what if it's these two characters bonding? This gangster and this therapist bonding together, but instead of a gangster and a therapist, or it's Rick and Jerry. Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, they look nice.
Could be. I'm looking for the other picture of. Yeah, I don't. This is definitely a different episode. Where there's Rick with some weird, not quite portal gun, and Jerry is in Morty's clothes. I'm on the fence about this, and I know we're talking about other things, but I'm not convinced that that's Jerry. I think that might be Morty, and he's somehow been transformed to look like Jerry. I think, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know that that's actually Jerry. I think that could be a Jerrified Morty.
So I will get back to that here in a second. Okay, but I think, but on the subject of Rick in a tie, the very beginning of the trailer shows them Rick pulling Jerry into the vents using these like mechanical arms to using Jerry as a shield. So whatever. I just want to point that out that is a clip in there.
Yeah.
I want to see who those are. There terrorists? Are there more terrorists? Feels like there's a lot of people after the family there.
It's possible.
Getting back into what you were talking about with either it being Morty and or Jerry in a Morty body or vice versa, whatever. That is my next guess, which is a Rick in King Mortar's court. You talk about transferring bodies, going someplace where they haven't been before. What if Morty is transported into a different body, a different reality, into Jerry's body, but he still keeps the clothes? I don't know. Black Knight. Go check it out.
Go check it out. All right. That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
It's a stretch. These are all stretch things.
We only have a couple of weeks, guys. Couple of weeks, and we'll start seeing these episodes. This is fine. Everything is fine.
Do you have any guesses, Travis? Come on, you gotta. What? There's so many episode titles here. So many episodes, so little time. You know,
For
like
some
Full
reason,
Metal.
I'm signed in as the wrong account on my
Full-
Google Docs. That's weird.
Alright.
All right. Let's see. Anything? Maybe
Final-
No, not Full Metal Jack Rick. I don't think
Full
we've
Metal
seen
Jack
that.
Rick. No. Analyze
Um,
Pit.
I don't think Jurassic Mort's in here. I don't think the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation one's in here. Really, I think it's probably only like 3 episodes, really at its core, with maybe a couple of clips. Yeah, a couple of clips. So
Okay.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
right.
Yeah, I think you're right. Which brings me to your other point, which is which episode's not seen in the trailer. And you're like, and you break this up. I think we're gonna forego that for the sake of time.
No way. No, we got so much time. No. What episode is not seen in this trailer? Solarix. And I'm saying it's not solar opposites. I'm going to say it's based off the Solaris because last week we talked about Solaris and we're like, I don't actually know what that movie's about. Do you know what that movie's about? And we looked at each other and then there was awkward silence on the podcast. So our audio listeners are sending us bad messages, death threats. Get the fuck out of here with your silence. You don't know what Solaris is about. So I looked it up. I looked up Solaris, George Clooney's film Despre. Solaris tells the story of a planet that reads minds and obliges its visitors by devising and providing people they have lost and miss. The catch-22 is that the planet knows no more than its visitors know about these absent people. I mean, come on. We don't see that in the trailer, do we, Travis?
No, we do not, Brandon.
We don't see anything like that in the trailer, do we, Travis?
No, I don't think we do.
Well then, which episodes are not seen in this trailer? That's my guess. Solarix.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Rictional Mortpoon's Rickmas Mortcation. I think it's not included in this trailer. That's my guess.
I agree with you.
Thank you. Thanks.
I agree. As long as you agree with my Solarix.
I agree 100%. 100,
Okay,
100,
cool.
110 even
Cool.
percent.
Full Meta Jack Rick. Not seen in this trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe actually no. Let's if it is a interdimensional cable-esque episode or a Mind Blowers-esque episode, then there may be some one-offs in here. So there are a couple of scenes that we didn't talk about, right? Rick's new ship. It's not like his trash can garbage ship.
Yeah.
It is highfalutin. It's high technology. This is kind of going into general thoughts on the trailer, but what do you think about that piece?
I honestly don't. I feel like this is the same ship with a bunch of modifications added to it. Like it's the souped up version of Rick's ship because there's little elements to it that feel like the seats kind of look similar. There's some stuff underneath there, but I mean it's a cool looking ship. It's definitely more souped up than the previous version, and it's getting my wheels turning a little bit more about these limitations for interdimensional travel since the Citadel broke down. I mean, obviously Rick has the formula for interdimensional travel. He invented it, right? It's why the Gromphamites were after him in the first place and all these things. But for whatever reason, I think there is going to be, and maybe this is the overall MacGuffin of the season, is Rick is unable to portal in this season, right? Like his portal gun's not working. He's got to go and find ways to get his portal gun working again. We see evil Morty's golden portal or yellow portal at the end of season 5. So maybe because he doesn't have the ability to just portal wherever he wants, he thinks, all right, I got to fix up my ship a little bit more so I can get around. And this is the result of that. And so that's why we see those clips of him going through that trippy, existential reality plane, because his ship is capable of so much more because it is his required form of travel. Also, it gets blown up in the trailer, so also weird.
Yeah, I think I can get behind that, and to add on to your point, because the CFC is gone, and because his kind of status as an unofficial god is kind of revoked, essentially.
Sure.
That barrier protecting or keeping him separate from everybody, it means that he can't just half-ass his way through his existence anymore.
Yeah.
Like he was half-assing himself with just a garbage can spaceship. He has to improve things. He has to work a little bit harder now. And so maybe his ship is representative of that kind of shift in his mentality that he has to get across to keep his family safe.
Yeah. Yeah. I dig it.
Dig it. We came up with that together, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But I still think it's Final Destination. So we talked about Jerry in a Morty outfit. We talked about blips and chits. We talked about Do It Die Hard. I don't know if we want to get into this last little bit. I mean, it might as well.
Yeah.
There is a scene towards the end of it is at the very, very end of the trailer. It includes yours truly, Brandon and Travis, podcasting in Rick's garage. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, we're convinced they're podcasting, right? Like they're not. That has to be a podcast, right?
It has to be. It has to be. That's us like 5 years ago.
Okay. So I'm gonna show this on the screen for the listening audience or the viewing audience. Sorry for the listeners. If you haven't watched this trailer yet and you're listening to this podcast, definitely go watch this trailer, obviously. But yeah, it's Rick and Morty in a garage, headphones. They got some papers in front of them. They got like a very similar mixing board kind of between them. Clearly looks like they're doing a podcast, even a cup of coffee on the table in the garage. If you were to rewind, 7 years now, I think so, this is like exactly how me and Brandon started out in podcasting, in his garage, just trying to make stuff work, right? So while not until proven otherwise, I'm not gonna say this is a nod to us because there's plenty of Rick and Morty podcasts out there. But it feels really close to home for some reason. It feels very personal.
Yeah, I mean, if we're all being honest with each other, Travis and I know that this has nothing to do with us, and that they probably know nothing about us. Probably never heard of us. Definitely, probably never talked to us on Instagram or Twitter or in Facebook Messenger. Certainly
not on a regular basis.
But we still like to believe that there's some part of them that's like, yeah, there's two assholes and that started in the garage, continue to talk about us. We don't know why. They should get real jobs, which we do have. I'm just saying.
For now.
for now. For another couple weeks. Yeah, so that was last bit. So there are a lot of things in this trailer, just talking about it overall, again, that we're thrilled about. We are really anxious to see how this all comes together and how it develops that narrative over the next 10 episodes of the season, leading into season 7, leading into season 8, which they've already started writing, we know of. So what that takes us, we just have to get to season 10, and that is when the series hypothetically will end, right? Harmon going off and doing all his extra side projects like Crapopolis.
You think it'll end at 10?
Do I think it will end at 10, or do I think it should end by more?
Because it was 70 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So season 10. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they should end at 10. Because as much as I love things,
they're going Simpsons with this, bud.
They should end.
It's gonna be they're challenging Simpsons crown for longest running animated series. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Simpsons and South Park get away with that because they have very, very loose canon, and the
Yeah.
Simpsons have been reinventing themselves for over 30 years, and just rechanging their canon every couple of years because they have to come up with new content. Matt Selman, I think, is the EP on the show. Like they have to keep creating new things. That's their challenge. Rick and Morty, if they were doing season 1 through 2, a little bit of season 3, where it was all kind of standalone still, and it's like they're building stuff, but they're all standalone stories, then I think they could go on for a long time. But the fact of the matter is, the fans don't want standalone stories. They want something connected. They're okay with bottle episodes, but they want connectivity. Because shout out to the writers. They created something that the fans want to see a conclusion to.
Yeah. All right. Well, check out Rick and Morty's new podcast. Rick doesn't say wubba lubba dub dub at the end of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our thoughts for the trailer. We didn't break it down nearly as well as some other people have broken it down, but
no, absolutely not.
We're an audio podcast, so we're not on YouTube. Well, we are on YouTube. Oh shit. We're not
Start over.
Oh, we're not doing post production. But if any of these clips, these scenes, these moments jumped out at you, let us know. We don't have to give you a shout out or anything. If you just want to have a conversation about it, we're game for that too.
Yeah.
On all of our social media, Rick and Morty Pod, Rick and Morty Podcast over on Instagram, Rick and Morty Podcast at gmail.com. Shoot us your thoughts.
Yep. And
then we'll include you if you want on listener suggestions and short outs, brought to you by Brandon and Travis.
We got a pretty special listener suggestion this time, and he's a longtime friend of the podcast, longtime friend of the show, good old Scary Terry Folds. As you write it, being a badass and shooting us a photoshopped image of us in the trailer. That's right. This was shared out on our social media, but I gotta share it with the folks here on the podcast. That scene at the end of the trailer where Rick and Morty are doing their podcast. Scary Terry Folds took our what was that thing called where you could like make yourself a Rick and Morty character.
Yeah.
It was whatever that web tool was. And we Rick and Morty-ized ourselves. He took our faces off of that. So there was research involved because he had to go back and find those images.
There was. I wouldn't even know where to find those images. Right.
Yeah.
You pointing that out it just occurred to me right now. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not any of our official artwork.
No, that's definitely from the Rick and Morty tool thing. But he photoshopped our faces into the trailer, and then even with the extra mile and on the box on the shelf in the back that usually says time travel stuff, he put Interdimensional IRSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty podcast. So big shout out to Scary Terry Folds. Thank you so much for honoring us with your fan art. And if you want to see that, head over to our Instagram or our Twitter. Pretty much everywhere. Brandon posted it everywhere, so you'll be able to find it on there.
That's
also,
right.
to anybody that was confused by Brandon's post, where he's like, "Hey, if you missed our cameo in the trailer, check it out." That's a joke. We're not really in the trailer.
We're not really. No.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing it out. Now people are like, "Oh, I guess we won't listen anymore." That's the only reason we're listening.
There really was a person, I think, on Facebook that was like, "What? You guys were in the trailer?"
Oops. Sorry, Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. So over on Instagram and Twitch, we have Peace Among Ricks. I don't know if she wants me saying her name on the podcast. She can correct me in the chat if she wants. But anyway, she says, "Mr. Poopy Butthole better make an appearance in this season, or I'm gonna riot."
I don't know. I think that's a safe bet.
I think it's a safe bet.
When was the last season? The little poopy superstar wasn't in a season.
Was he in this last season?
Yeah, he closes out the season. He's got his ramen noodles and everything.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I don't.
He talks about, like, he's like, Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
ever since Rick made me lose my job for going, yeah, like made me beat up a bunch of interns, and then he's like in his apartment and he's cooking ramen noodles and he's eating them out of the pan. It's like, yeah,
Poor guy.
well,
Poor-
we don't tell the people closest to us that we love them because we're afraid of they'll find out who we really are, and so we push them away. And yeah, hope you don't make that same mistake. And
What if
yeah.
What if at the end of the series, it turns out that it's all Mr. Poopy Butthole, just telling the story of Rick and Morty and how they saved existence.
I'm thoroughly convinced at this point that there will be a micro series that you'll be able to take the final shots of like all of the remaining seasons and stitch them together and get a like this is your life synopsis of Mr. Poopy Butthole, where we go from him like dating to getting married to having a kid to like that marriage failing. Who knows what season 6 will be? Maybe he's trying to get back out there in the dating market. Maybe he's taking on new hobbies and finding himself, learning to love his own poopy self, right? Yeah. And not needing that validation from other people. And it's through that process of growth and discovering yourself that he can really learn to love again.
Yeah,
but we won't know that till the end of season 8. So.
It's breaking the pot and gluing it back together again.
I really wonder if somewhere on a whiteboard somewhere somebody's mapped out all of the Poopy Butthole clips for the remainder of the series.
I think it's very, very possible. But I want you to know, Travis, that this talking about Poopy Butthole making an appearance next season has given me an idea for what we're going to talk about next week on Interdimensional RSS. I won't spoil that here. I won't spoil that now. But rest assured, we will be back next week to talk more about Rick and Morty.
Next week. Yeah, absolutely.
As we lead into season 6.
Yeah, definitely going to have plenty to talk about. We'll figure out what Wormageddon means. Make sure you're checking rickandmorty.com on Friday morning. And until then, that is our episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. If you are watching either on Twitch or over on YouTube, feel free to follow us, subscribe so that you can hit bell notifications, all that stuff, so you can find when we get new episodes or find out when we go live. And then if you're listening to the audio podcast, which is the bread and butter of this podcast, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe. If you haven't left a review, maybe you're new here, leave a review. Let people know what you like about the episodes, things like that. Those reviews really help other people to find the podcast. And as we get into season 6, that's super important. So thank you to everybody that is continuing to support the show, writes those reviews, and does all that cool stuff. Couple weeks away. It's getting close, guys.
Bread and butter.
Unity. All right. That's it. Until next time, I'm Travis.
I'm Brandon. Bread and butter.
Bread and butter.